Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we have two new knives from We Knife Co. Starting it off with the ARCHEOZOIC. Now, the ARCHEOZOIC is using the GTC Interframelock because basically it acts like a liner lock, but it actually is part of the frame. So it's not a separate piece right there. It's really cool how they machined all that out, and then you can see the steel lock bar insert, how proud it is. Nice, solid, thick, robust lock bar insert. I love seeing that, especially, you know, attached to this liner. The lock face geometry is really good. I can feel the engagement. It's nice and solid, as usual from We. They do a phenomenal job. Love this blade shape. It's somewhat of like a modified harpoon spear point. This little poon action right there, you can drop your thumb right into, but it does add a little characteristic to the blade. 20 CV blade steel. Oh no, sorry, I am wrong. It's been a while since I've seen them use a different steel. M390 steel. M390 steel. Now, what's the difference between 20 CV and M390? Nothing really. They're basically the exact same steel, just different companies make it. However, I have noticed that M390 tends to do a little bit better in edge retention. I'd be interested in possibly doing a cut test with this compared to one of their 20 CV models. The only thing is that it's tough to do that without it being the same geometry, but maybe we'll do that in the future. We have the carbon fiber handle right here, and obviously the titanium bolster, titanium mill pocket clip, great spring tension on that. Love the ramp. This is a clip that works really good. Then we have a beautiful floating backspacer, and they really went floating with this guy. Very slim. This is a big knife, but very ergonomic. Like you can just look at the handle. This is a comfortable handle, slightly contoured. The edges, they do have like these little ridges in a couple spots, but there's nothing sharp. It's very comfortable. You have beautiful jimping. Like I said, you got the poon action. You got a beautiful spear point, so the tip's going to be very easy to get to. You're going to be able to basically use it in any grip. It has really good balance. And then the drop is fall shut. You have a well-jimped flipper tab. The detent, I would say, is on the medium side. Not super strong, not light at all. It's like damn near perfect. Can I fail it? Yeah, I can fail it, but I can fail just about anything. This is really good. Like, I would say that most people would label this a perfect detent, probably a number 5 on the detent list out of 10. You're never going to fail it. Like, it is very snappy, but it's not so strong that it literally is sharp and it hurts you to flip it. It's not like that. It's a nice, comfortable flip, and it flips extremely reliably. The access to the lock bar could be a little bit better, but it actually is very comfortable. They added a little tiny micro texture right there on the liner, so it's actually easy to disengage, and the detent is nice and early, so that's where the detent lands when you go to close it. So you have to push past that or hold the lock bar all the way open until it gets past it. And once it gets past it, you can just let it drop. So you drop it down to your thumb, let it drop. You can also hold it kind of high because like I said, the detent is nice and early for the closing. So that's awesome. Love to see that. Now, price. Now, I have a 15% discount code for all We Knife Co. knives. So please consider that when you look at the price. The prices look much more expensive than they are. Like this one, I think you're going to have probably over $60 off with my discount code. So consider that anytime you look at any of the We models using my affiliate link. It will be the same price as all the other dealers after the discount. Geometry is really good. Nice. It's like a perfect thickness for a blade that's going to have some toughness and great cutting performance. Nice and thin behind the edge. Sharp control and plunge grinds well done. They did taper it, but I can tell I have plenty of room to sharpen. There's a little bit of room between the end of the plunge and the edge. So as far as negatives go, one thing is, you know, like I said, the lock bar access could be a little bit better, but it's so comfortable. It's not really a negative. there's so much good here that I don't think it'd be even fair to come up with a negative, because I can't find any. I'm not just going to fabricate negatives. Next is the Guthrie. I freaking love this thing. I've had this since Blade Show. So this one is a prototype, but I believe everything's the exact same. And my goodness, is this thing awesome. I've carried this thing a bit because I've had it since, that was my fault, because since I've had it since Blade Show Atlanta this year, it is one that I chose out of all the knives. Seth from We Knife Co. let me pick one of the prototype, or one of the knives that I wanted to bring home with me, you know, in order to do a video and whatnot. This was the one I picked. So that says a lot, right? Like, this is the one I picked out of all of them. I adore this handle. And Jason Guthrie, by the way, custom knife maker, makes amazing custom knives. They're very expensive, but they're very well done. I have had the privilege to handle, I think, 2 of his customs. I've never owned one, but shout out to Stasa23. I did get to try his very briefly. Anyways, this model, the handle, I adore this handle. It has it's amazing ergonomics. But with this, the way it's rounded right here, shoots up, and then it has this dip right there, my hand, you can just watch it, just melts right into this thing. It is one of the most comfortable handles I've experienced. I freaking dig this thing. Now, what's cool about it is then I can also turn it around, and like if I need to cut a strap or something and pull towards me, this is also distributed across my hand really nicely. The pinch grips are going to be amazing for like utility cuts and cutting sideways. Choke ups, you know, you can choke up. It's amazing, the ergonomics. And the blade steel on this one is 20 CV. The edge, really good quality edge. I haven't sharpened it, and you know, I've had it since Blade Show. I haven't used it like a ton. I haven't sat there and beat the hell out of it. I have been trying to keep it kind of nice, you know, to keep it in good condition, because, you know, it is kind of like a little bit of a special piece to me, because I've never seen a production Guthrie design. I don't even think there is any. I think this is his first production model. So, you know, I have been trying to keep it nice. Not that I wouldn't test the hell out of it and beat the hell out of it and see what it, you know, what it can do. Love the copper handle. So 20 CV, spear point blade. You can call it a drop point, but I would call it a spear point. Love the swedge on top. You can see the spine and the edge damn near do the exact same thing. I would say it's very close to a spear point. Maybe a little bit closer to a drop point, because the center of the pivot does not land with the tip of the edge. So, you know, call it a drop point, whatever. I freaking dig it. I love it. Great geometry, very, very slicey. One of my all-time favorite blade shapes. The titanium handle has carbon fiber inlays that are seamless. I mean, this is just done to perfection. Love the chamfers in the holes. Love the copper and the carbon fiber. Titanium mill pocket clip. No backspacer. We have a couple titanium standoffs, titanium hardware that are T8 hardware all the way around, titanium thumb studs, which allow you to anodize them. So you have titanium pivots, titanium hardware, and it looks good. I like the gold and copper accents with the black. I think it looks sick. Good access to the lock bar. They did knock it back slightly, and they gave you a nice little chamfer with a little bit of micro texturing right there. So it's very, very comfortable to disengage. The front flipper is not a tall front flipper, but works very, very, very well. Very happy with the front flipping action. The jimping is the exact type of jimping you want to see, and it goes up and all the way around exactly how it's supposed to. We Knife Co. really listens. Like, and you know, there's some things I can always nitpick about any company, no matter what company it is, but I gotta give credit to We, man. We Knife Co. does an amazing job. Sometimes my mind is blown when I hear some people review their knives and not give them the credit they deserve. They do their fit and finish, their tolerance. It is the little details. And when I see sometimes they'll give credit to another company where they aren't even closely hitting the details that We Knife Co. does, these are freaking amazing knives. Steel lock bar insert, as you can see, with the nice detent ball right there. Very easy to get past the detent. Look at how early. Beautiful. Look at that. Very, very early detent. So it's very easy, and very quickly you get past the detent. The lockup, beautiful, beautiful geometry. Love to see that. It is a titanium frame lock, or bolster lock, I should say. And the stop pin does land behind the edge, but it does land in the meat. So it lands in the thick portion, so I'm not going to complain about that. Typically, I don't like it to hit there, but in this case, it's okay. Because if you did ever hit the plunge grind right here and you made a smile, you know, from sharpening, if you sharpened it and you remove steel from here and you hit the plunge grind, which you eventually will, you can always come in and cut your own little sharpening notch in if it bothers you. It would take a little while till I think it'd really bother you. I think you're going to get about 3 good sharpenings before you ever hit it. So I'm okay with that. It's close, but it's definitely a doable plunge grind. Now, as far as these ergonomics again, man, like you can get them in any grip. It's just so comfortable. I love this handle. I love the length of this thing. Let's look at it next to this model. They are basically the exact same length. Which is a large knife for sure. It's a large knife, but because it's narrow, I love that. I love that it's big and narrow at the same time. It just makes me feel like this is something that could do just about anything successfully, especially EDC related. Now, negatives. What do we have for the negatives? One thing is this does ramp up right here. You know, it works just fine. I don't want to make it seem like it is an issue at all. And I guess I can't complain about that because then the ergonomics might be slightly different. But I was thinking it'd be cool if it was just a little bit lower so that when you are dragging across, it doesn't bother. So, you know what? I'm taking it back. I'm not bitching about that. So take that back. It's just fine. A real negative, the plunge grind could be a little bit better. You know, I always complain about that with every company. This one, you know, like I said, you do have a couple sharpenings in before you'll hit it, but I like so much that you'll never, ever have to worry about it. In this case, you will eventually hit the plunge grind, which is not going to hurt the knife functionality wise. It just will not look pretty. And when sharpening, it will become more and more difficult to sharpen as you cut more and more into the plunge grind. All in all, I got hardly any negatives at all. Like, this is done so well. So shout out to Jason Guthrie for designing such an amazing knife, and to We Knife Co for executing these knives. 2 knives with no complaints. That is amazing, because I definitely can come up with some nitpicks typically, but in this case, man, they knocked them out of the park. I guess I got the one nitpick on this with the lock bar access, but it's so comfortable, doesn't matter. There you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.